Okay, one of my biggest pet peeves ever is when people charge by the hour. And here, I'm going to give you an example as to why. Okay, there's lots of things, and I know this tends to stir up a lot of emotions, but here's a scenario. Early in my career, I started DCM communications, right? And I was just going out on my own for the first time. And so I was like, okay, here are the rates for branding. Here are the rates for website help. Here's what it is for content. And I did things based on the hour because that's what I thought I was supposed to do. And I had a client reach out to me one day via email and say, hey, I am having issues with my website. Your rate is $95 an hour, right? I said, yep, that's it. She's like, fantastic. Here's the situation. Can you take care of this? Of course. So I log into the website and I start doing my thing. And 15 minutes later, I have it fixed. And I write back to her and I'm like, okay, it's all taken care of. That was 15 minutes. So here's, what the bill is. Now, granted, I should have done it as a minimum of 1 hour that I billed, but I didn't. Her response back to me was, oh, I'm so grateful for that. That's amazing. I spent 4 hours trying to figure it out and couldn't. Clearly, not a happy camper when I found that out. Why? Because I should have been able to charge her for the 4 hours that she saved by coming to me. Instead, because I knew exactly where to look for it and exactly what the problem was and how to fix it, I only got paid for 15 minutes, not the grand scheme of the knowledge and the time it took for me to learn how to do it that quickly. So after that, I was like, screw this, never again doing hourly. Because as I progress in my career and as you progress in your career as a business owner, service provider, one would assume you get better, right? Every year you are better than you were the year before. Every few months you're better than you were 6 months ago. So you should be paid for the value that you bring to the table, not how long it takes you. I'll give you another example. Let's say at the beginning of your career, you are doing a project or an event and it takes you 5 hours to come up with a strategy. Great, you bill for 5 hours. Well, fast forward 2 years, you're still billing that same type of strategy, but it only takes you 2 hours. You shouldn't be depreciating the cost and the amount of money that you're actually earning with this. It should go up. The more experienced you are, the more your revenue increases. So usually I get a lot of pushback from people on this saying, well, I know that it's going to take a set number of hours or nobody else in my industry will do it except based on hourly. That's what everybody in our industry asks for. To which I call bullshit. Number one, there's always somebody who has to be the one who stands out. So if everyone in your industry is doing this, why not be the one who's like, hey guys, I'm going to change the game and challenge the way we think about this. Number two, even if you continue to charge hourly, that means in order to hit a certain revenue goal, you have to hit a certain number of hours. Did you go into business in order to work 95 hours a week? I didn't. I went in to provide people with really awesome knowledge and something I am passionate about, but also be able to have time with my friends and time with my dogs and being able to travel. These are parts of why we work for ourselves and not working for somebody else all the time. If we wanted to do that and be a corporate slog, terrible word, but true, then you can go back to the corporate world and have somebody else dictate how many hours you need to work in order to hit a certain revenue mark. Instead, you have gone into business for yourself. It has taken you a lot of time and a lot of study and research, because yes, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt that you are incredibly good at what you do. So get paid for all of that got you to this point, not let me start here and however many hours it takes me to execute gets you to here. Because you should be able to make the money that you deserve for the quality and the level of service that you bring to the table. Okay? So if you are an attorney, right? And let's say you are an attorney and everybody does things by hourly. Do you know attorneys who are thriving and super happy because they have this amazing work-life balance? Please introduce them to me because I don't, right? That is an industry that has always charged hourly, and it's always been that way. Everything is based on billable hours. That also is one where not as many people are able to really thrive. That takes a very specific person who wants to work on that basis. So what if instead you're like, hey, I'm going to give you all the deliverables that you need, the trademarks and the licenses and the contracts, and you're going to pay for the value of what I'm providing instead of the amount of hours. That means you could still help your clients. You can still provide them all the legal protections they need, but you can also have time with your family. or your friends or to travel or to ride a Peloton or whatever it is that makes you happy, right? It is because of all these reasons and my personal experience making huge mistakes charging hourly. When you switch to charging people based on the value that you are bringing to the table and not how long it takes you, they start to respect you more. You are seen as a true thought leader and expert in your field, and you get some of your life back, right? That is so, so incredibly important. You started a business to do what you love, helping others, and still having a life. If you wanted other people to control your schedule, A, have an infant, because I'm told that's what happens, or go back to the corporate world. But if you are a business owner and you get to set how it is that business is actually done, own that. Be the one who stands out in your industry and charge for the value that you bring to the table. Now, if you are unsure about how to figure out that value, by all means, reach out. Let's work on it together, right? Because there's a lot of other steps, and I will happily create another video or a blog post about this if it's of interest on how to set your rates. Because I do think it's important to know how long it takes you to do things, but that is internal proprietary knowledge. That is not something you need to share with your client because it doesn't matter. Chances are it's going to take them 3 times as long to do it, or they wouldn't be coming to you to hire you. That is why you need to stop charging by the hour and start charging for the value you bring to the table.